Hey everybody! My dog clip-clapping through the room. So welcome. We're going to talk today about how to plan your homeschool day. We've been getting our curriculum in the mail. We got our language in today, so that was exciting. I actually asked my 5-year-old, "Did you want to start school today? We got your stuff in." He's like, "Sure, as soon as I'm done playing with my friends." So I was like, well, I don't think we're actually going to start today, kiddo, but I thought that was pretty funny that he was eager to start his stuff that we got in the mail. So yeah, so I think all we're waiting on is some spelling, and then we'll have all of our curriculum. And so the biggest question I got when I first started this blog, and that I still get pretty often, is how do I plan my day? I need a planner. I need to know what I'm doing so I can plan my day. So I know when I see planners, when I hear about planning, I typically think of like a daily schedule. What do I do during my day? So I think of, which this one's just on my little dry erase board, but I typically think of something like this, to where you have your daily schedule with like, okay, so 9 to 9:30 we're going to do Bible, 9:30 to 10 we're going to do language, 10 to 10:30 we're going to do math, and then like 10:30 to 10:45 we're going to do reading, and so on and so forth. We don't do this. So I see a lot of planners out there, printables, for homeschooling that look like this. And I've never been able to do something like this because it would cause us so much anxiety, because my day, whether we're doing school or not, does not look like that. We don't have very often very cookie cutter days like that. And some families need that. And so that's wonderful. If that is you and you need half hour by half hour, even 15 minutes by 15 minutes, if you need that, then do it. I can't do that. So that I've been holding off on doing this. I was hoping that whatever people wanted the most, I'd be able to do for my very first blog post, and I've been kind of dreading doing this because I don't do a typical planner like this. So what I typically do is I have to do a little bit of math at the beginning of each of my school years. So I go through each piece of curriculum because we're very eclectic also. So I don't have one box curriculum that I have in there what I'm supposed to do each and every single day. I just pick and choose different curriculum from different places, and then I have to go in, and usually they have it spelled out for you still on the front of them. So I know I went over my history with you guys a few weeks ago, and in the front of our history book, it has a suggested schedule. So it's in there for me already. So it has week 1, what we're supposed to do 5 days a week. Week 2, what we're supposed to do 5 days a week. So I don't follow this though. So I still have to kind of make my own thing. So what I do to make a plan is I go through, so this specific history, so we're doing America's History 2 for master books. For my history, so there is 18 weeks worth of content in here, and we typically do a 36-week school year, so it's about 9 months of school. We actually drag it into 10 weeks. We do about a 2-month summer break, and then we spread things out over 10 months, because we like to go on vacations a lot, we like to travel a lot, so that allows for lots of extra weeks off, not including our Thanksgiving break, our Christmas break, our spring break, and stuff like that. So since I have 18 weeks worth of lessons in here, and this is supposed to be 5-day-a-week lessons, over 36 weeks, I can actually split that even in half. So I can do this history to maybe stretch it into 3 days a week, but I'll probably end up doing it in 2 days a week over 36 weeks, and we will cover every single little thing in here. And that doesn't even count if I want to take stuff out. Then I have more stuff to incorporate other new things. Whether it is extra books from the library or videos on YouTube or whatever I find. So I can spread this out over 36 weeks, even though this is only 18 weeks worth of lessons in here, to only do it 2 to 3 days a week. So another example is, let me see, I'll do my 5th grader for his writing. We're doing essentials in writing. There's about 140 lessons in here. It was 139, because they have less lessons than that. Let me find their thing. So they list 83 lessons, but some of those go over several days. So it'll say like lesson 5, day 2. So some of them have several days instead of just, instead of one lesson a day. So when I counted all of those up, there was about 140 days worth of work in here. So again, I'm going to take 140 divided by 36, which equals 3.8. So I know if he does this 4 days a week, we will for sure finish it in that 36 weeks. We'll probably finish it a little bit sooner, but that also gives us some wiggle room so that if we're having a bad day or if we're having a bad week, we can just say, we're done with school, we don't have to do writing today. And that's really nice to do, because a lot of times we have days like that where we need to take breaks because I had to sleep in because the baby was up half of the night, and so I wanted to sleep in. So we don't get school started till maybe 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock, whatever it is. So that gives us the freedom to do that, where I can say, okay, yep, I slept in, so it's 11 o'clock, let's go ahead and start school now. So that I'm not worried about that schedule going, oh my gosh, we're so late, we're 2 hours behind schedule now, what are we gonna do? We don't have that chaos. So it makes it just more relaxed and more easy. So what I do at the beginning of the year, like I said, I have that written out then. So we know we have to do history twice a week. We know that my 5th grader has to do language 4 times a week. My 1st grader will only have to do language twice a week. Math, I think we only do math 4 days a week. So we can kind of pick and choose then what days. So I have my son's planner, which was knocked onto the floor by one of them. So I have my son's planner. So I have this printable that I shared in one of my other posts, so I'll make sure to link it to this as well. But I have his planner so I can have it, to where we have our 4 days of language spelled out, and we can have our 4 days of math spelled out. We can have our 1 or 2 days of science or 1 or 2 days of history, whatever it is. We can lock it all in here. And then we know that's what we have to accomplish that week. And then I always put it in pencil, because that way, if we had that bad day, we can move it to the next day, or we can move it to even the next week if we need to, or whatever it is. So it makes things a lot less chaotic, and it allows for interruption. So like, let's say that they're getting frustrated over a lesson. Like, okay, that's fine. Let's take a break. Let's go jump in the trampoline for 15 minutes, and then we'll come inside and either start something new or finish this or whatever it is. We don't stick to that hourly schedule like some people do. Another way that you can do your planners, I've had a few people share with me, is that you can go in and use it more for record keeping. So instead of having stuff planned out before you start your week, you can still have your idea. We need to do 4 days of language, 4 days of math, and so on. But then fill your planner in for record keeping once you do it. So as opposed to having it there beforehand saying you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, use it for record keeping later. So you can say, okay, we accomplished this today, so let me write in our language we did today. And we accomplished our math today, so let me write in what we did for math today. And then I've had people say, well, how do you know what lesson you're on? What's the lesson we did yesterday? Okay, well, we're on the next lesson today then. So it's really not complicated. I think a lot of people, especially brand new homeschoolers, or if they're wanting to venture out from their box curriculum and go to a more eclectic approach, that scares them. And it's not scary, because it's just very natural that you go from, okay, if we did lesson 4 yesterday, we obviously have to do lesson 5 today. So it's not scary. It's something that's very, very easy to do. And just to make it nice and relaxed and easy, and it's easy on the kids. Something I am having my son do this year is I'm having him lesson plan himself. So he'll see, with my guidance of course, but he will see that, he just finished lesson 29 on Friday. So on Monday, he's going to have to write down for his week that he has to do lessons 30 through 34 then for language, and write them in the days that we're going to be doing them. And that way he can keep himself on track, because there was times last year where I'd be like, just go grab your spelling and go ahead and do the next lesson. And he wouldn't pay attention, and so he would skip a week. And so then when I would check his work, I'm like, what's going on? You skipped a week. And he's like, oh, I didn't even notice it. So I am going to have him lesson plan just for his own sake. And for help with some independence as well, since he's going into 5th grade, that he can, sit down and say, okay, so I have to start lesson 30 today, not lesson 31 or 32 and skipping lessons. That way he can keep himself on track. So that's something that I'm helping him do to build his independence as well. So, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Please let me know what you guys do for lesson planning. How do you plan your homeschool days? And make sure to put in the comments. I'm going to be posting this both on YouTube, and I'll be making a blog post with this as well. So I will have the weekly planner sheets. I will post back to my last blog post that I had made those. And also, don't forget, I still have my Homeschool Mom giveaway going on right now as well. So that's going on until Friday at noon Eastern Time. So make sure if you haven't entered into that to enter. So we've got the tote bag, the coffee mug, and the planner in there. So I'm excited to give that away and mail it off to somebody. So I think that is it. So nice and simple. Just keep everything simple. That's the thing about homeschooling, is it doesn't need to be complicated. It can be nice and simple, and your kids can still learn a ton. So I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you next time.